We create all kinds of different spreadsheets just to show people where they might be. What we do is we use the S&P returns for actual returns for the S&P 500 for the last 100 years, which includes the depression years. These are the actual returns that we use. I'm about ready to add 2024 numbers, so I'll be redoing these. But we use the actual historic returns. We project ahead what similar returns might do for you in the future. And the resulting numbers are simply a possible range of what may happen in the future. There's going to be ballpark figures because none of these returns going forward are going to be identical to what's happened in the last 100 years, but they can give us a reasonable range of what might be able to expect. So I got this request from somebody that said, hello, good sir. Can you do this scenario for me? A baby is gifted $2,000 and parents place it in the S&P 500. What might it grow to by age 65? Interesting question. So we got the beginning balance of $2,000. Not going to add another dime to it. So this 2,000, not going to add anything in this column right here. And we're going to run it for every single year. These are the 1924 numbers going forward for 65 years. And you can see right there, after 65 years, you would have 1.328 million. This is the actual graph right here showing how this shoots up. This shows you the compounding effect that it's just a miracle of compound interest, how it just takes off if you can be in it for a long time. And look at this, a 65-year period just shoots up like crazy. Remember, $2,000, and this is $1 million right here. You'd have after what? Right here, between 60 and 65 years, you'd hit $1 million. If I change these numbers, of course, they're all going to change because the returns are changing. Just going down through, the graph changes, the numbers change. So what do we want to do? We want to update it for every single year for the last 100 years. See the worst case scenario, the median, and the best case scenario. What we got here is $2,000 again, never adding another dime. After 65 years, the worst case scenario in the last 100 years for a 65-year period be $726,000. If you look down through, that's actually 1929 numbers. So if I just go one more number here, you're going to see it right there. After 65 years, 726,443. The median in this column is 1.677 million. And the highest you're going to see is 4.759. This is the actual breakdown. 100% of the time, you'd have a half a million, which makes sense because the lowest is 726,000. 92% of the time, color coded in blue, you'd have over $1 million. Again, folks, this is starting with just $2,000 a baby, and by the time they reach retirement age, this is the kind of money they would have. 36% of the time, color coded in gold, you'd actually have over $2 million. Now, we have to be realistic here, folks. These are not going to have the same kind of buying power. So I always like to include an inflation rate. I usually run it at 3%. We can change it to anything you want. But what would the buying power of these amounts be? Especially these right here. We're looking at the 65-year column. What would the buying power of this 726,000? Again, that's the worst case scenario. You'd have the buying power of 123,000. This 1.677 would have a buying power of 284,000, and you get how this works. But you always need to take account inflation. But again, folks, this is starting with just $2,000 when the baby's born or when the baby's young and is looking forward to where they might be 65 years from now. It's putting in the S&P 500, and look how it takes off, folks. No matter what graph I pick here, you're just going to see it shooting up like a rocket, especially after about 50 to 65 years. It's just unbelievable how it just takes off like a rocket. Sometimes it drops down because you hit some bad years, but I just want to run the numbers for this individual. I just love doing it. I love showing people if they can be in it for a long term, just what a little bit of money. The sooner you get that money in, the sooner you can get a lot of money in there. Just look how it takes off. Your money's going to be doing all the work. You don't have to add another dime, and look at the kind of money this person could have when they reach retirement, just from a gift from parents, grandparents, or whatever of $2,000, and just stick it in the S&P 500. But that's what we do in this channel. We run numbers for people. If you want me to run numbers for you, just in the accumulation stage, just give me your beginning balance, your monthly contribution, whether you want to increase that or not, and how long you want me to run it for. Uh, Obviously, if I can catch somebody who has 40, 45 or more years, you're going to have unbelievable results if you can just stick to it. Please consider subscribing to this channel. Please let people know about this channel. Let them know there's a channel out there that'll run numbers for them. give them some idea of what they might have in the future. And we just use historical returns. There's something that's happened for the last 100 years, and we just go ahead and run the numbers, see where you might be in the future. Again, please share this channel, let people know about it, and thanks so much for watching.